Welcome back! After our long hiatus, Viewer Discretion is back. Television entertainment podcast co-hosted by myself and David Dennis Jr., fresh off of his Eat, Pray, Love journey.
Yeah.
How was it?
Yeah. It was fantastic. It was great. I have actual TV related thoughts that we can get to at some point in life, but I was unplugged from all things. I couldn't watch anything while I was out there pretty much. So
you hopped on to talk about LeBron to Philly. I did. The hotel room looked real nice.
Yeah, I did. I was it was a nice little spot. Couldn't watch, but like the apps weren't working. The things couldn't watch Disney Plus. I also had to watch the things on the way back, but the apps weren't working. So I was disconnected from. I didn't know any Love Island tea or anything. It was the freedom of that was worth it alone.
You weren't on Threads during the Nicolandia breakup.
During the
breakup.
Yeah,
Stay woke. I feel like I was overseas during the finale of Succession, and credit to my husband, he's very good at like the VPNs and all that. You watch that when you're on the road. But you caught up on a few things that we're going to talk about today. So today we are going to cover a couple things. We're going to talk about the Odyssey. Obviously, it's been out for a while, so hopefully all of you have seen it by now. The way we're going to talk about it is I have put together a very long and comprehensive power rankings of almost everyone. It's actually 17 people long, so it's my longest power rankings yet. At the top, it was hard. The top 10 is stacked, honestly. There aren't that many losers in the Odyssey. Don't worry, there are a couple, but we can use that also to talk about the movie and Christopher Nolan of it all. And
my draft took a little hit with the.
We did the movie star draft. Yeah, don't spoil the power rankings. But did either of us take? Well, let's wait till we start. I forgot our teams, but anyways, so we're gonna talk about that, which I'm very excited to discuss and rank our Christopher Nolan movies. I have my rankings. You have your rankings. Our top fives. Did the Odyssey correct it? You'll have to listen to find out. And then the second half, we've decided we're gonna recap the show Furious, which is out now. First 4 episodes are out. They dropped 3 and then 1 this week. I think it comes out on Mondays every week. So we'll continue covering that as we transition to also covering Lanterns. Of course, we have teased that we will be.
Cannot wait.
Well. Yeah,
so ready for Lanterns. Yes.
All right, so let's dive right into the Odyssey. Okay, so like I said, the way I approach my power rankings is kind of just like I'm doing it by the actors, but it's also a way of kind of talking about the performance, the character, how they were positioned. Because as an actor, you only kind of can eat with what you work with. So it's kind of looking at like, who do I feel won this movie? Who did I leave perhaps with a higher estimation of, or I felt lived up to previously high estimation? And I was kind of alluding to this when I was asking about the movie star draft. It's not Matt Damon at the top. Remember we did was it 30 and under or 40 and under? We had 40 and under, 30 and under.
40, yeah.
I'm sorry, but Robert Pattinson was so funny to me in this movie. I have to rank him number 1.
Over Matt Damon.
Over Matt Damon.
Oh, okay.
Matt Damon was excellent, but I have some quibbles with the performance, which we'll get to. He's very high. No spoilers.
Yeah.
Pattinson, I thought, was note for note perfect. I was dying laughing at half of his dialogue intentionally.
Yeah.
And I wanted to. Did you take him? One of us took him, I think, in the draft. So we're
So I had Pattinson on my draft.
Okay, you had Pattinson, so you mitigate the hit that's one of your other actors took.
Yes.
I actually came out of this with a take, which is I think Robert Pattinson might be like the funniest movie star, like handsome movie star guy that we've had in a while. Like the whole time I was watching, because I watched the drama the week before, which is the movie with Zendaya.
Okay, so I watched it. First of all, took many flights in the last couple weeks. The drama was platinum on airplanes. You watch everybody else what they're watching. It went platinum on airplanes. I watched it on the plane, like to start the honeymoon, and hated the movie. And this is a redemption story for Robert Pattinson.
Well, I think he's funny in both. Whatever you think,
he is funny in both. He is funny, and it's a bad movie though. It's not a good movie.
The scene, the final third, which rips, by the way.
Yeah.
When Matt Damon, Odysseus is fighting off everyone, and he's just yelling out the weapons as they drop. He's like camping in the corner, being like, "Go get the spears, the shields." I was cackling in the theater watching him. He is so good at playing a weird little.
Yeah.
It's so crazy when you think about this. Dude got his entire start as like the hunk of teen hunks, brooding, zero humor.
He's Batman. He's
another
Batman.
movie where he is dead. That Batman has dead serious. Yes. I actually like the Batman, the one with him. But like the range, I think the reason I came out as like wanting to rank him on top is I just think his range right now. In contrast, again, to another young actor who's in this movie, who I think I came out of this thinking, oh, his range is a lot smaller than I thought. Yeah. I came out of this thinking Robert Pattinson can actually literally do any role.
Yeah, I agree. Totally, I'm with you. You're selling me on it. I think it's telling also that in this like 3-hour epic movie in the internet age, where Christopher Nolan is like one of the most memeable directors, even if it's not some. I don't think he thinks about memes when he's making his movies at all. But his movies become these pop culture things that we don't really get anymore. In the same way they're like Scorsese or some of these people like everybody's watching. The first the first meme is Robert Pattinson talking about get these beggars out of here. Like that was the thing I saw before the movie, and it's telling that that's the thing that cracks through. It's such a ridiculous line read. It's like in a vacuum when you see it.
He does it like he's saying a racial slur.
Yes.
You're like, oh my God. Like, I feel like you shouldn't say that. And it's just the word beggars.
Yes. It's
crazy.
Everything. He leaned into this one with everything he had. It was unbelievable.
He's like just like a little diva, little like he's just he was a weird little freak in the drama too. And I think he's so funny. I feel like he's been in a lot of really good movies, and it's not like he's coming out of nowhere here. And he's been in artistic movies, a Safdie movie, who's also in this movie, who's not been in this for a while.
The 9/11 movie.
I mean, I just felt like he could do anything. So I think, and I also feel like his character was a necessary.
It was a hard villain to sell. Like they
not
put
scary.
Threw a villain in there that didn't totally exist in the original, and then they like had it was almost sort of like a flimsy like line to make him the villain of Odysseus when he was more so with to make him the final villain. It like they had to do a lot of work to make that happen and to make the ending. Like part of what made the ending sort of gratifying was that he was such a piece
totally
of
agree. Totally agree. And because there's a lot of things with the ending, and there's this question of, okay, well, why did Odysseus do it? Why did he do it this way? Was it necessary for him to kill all these people? How does that fit into the the movie's themes and its exploration of kindness and generosity or justice or what's fair and what's not, and Zeus's law and all that. And you're right, his presence is a large part of what justifies the ending. So, all right, moving on. Still not a Damon.
Ooh, buddy.
Partly because I thought this woman, I'm going to do a take here. Samantha Morton as Cersei is the single best female character Christopher Nolan has ever written.
Yeah, I'm with you. Which is the bar ain't.
Well, okay, this might be a good place to talk about Nolan and women in general, because this movie is by far the best portrayal of multiple female characters, some less so successfully. I don't think ever that he's ever had a movie. Usually, so for those who aren't familiar, Christopher Nolan, there's like a joke, the dead woman thing, where like if a woman's in a Christopher Nolan movie, she's dead and used as like a plot device, right?
Yeah.
These women are not plot devices. They are truth tellers. They are fully fleshed characters in many cases. In Hathaway's case, they are main characters who have a ton of dialogue and presence. And in Samantha Morton's case, I think because the Odyssey's funny, right? Like the ending in the movie almost explains the whole movie. Like when Matt Damon speech we'll get to, you're like, oh, I now understand what this movie, or it really like informs the rest of the movie. But her scene comes in the middle, and I felt my experience of watching this, it was like the first point in the movie where I was like, holy crap, he is saying something right now. And then the more stuff is said, you know what I mean? Like thematic, like a real moment happening right here.
Yeah, it's piecemealing a story, and the way that like he piecemeals like this sci-fi stuff, like the Inception and Tenet, but it's like piecemealing this moral story that you kind of see the full picture of at the end, and he sort of like reverse engineers it. But yes, we get to this moment. First of all, Christopher Nolan made the case for making a horror movie.
Oh my God. So scary. Her performance was so chilling. The build of the dread when the men start eating and you start realizing what's going on. Legitimately scary stuff.
It reminded me in terms of like effectiveness and like the limited, it reminded me of the no scene from Get Out. Like where like this, like you're just in there. It's a turning point. It's terrifying and just bats 1,000 just straight out the gate. But my question, before this, what was the best Christopher Nolan female character?
Oh, I think it was the best part of the movie. Oh God, let me look at the.
Like because there's been, I've been watching a lot of Nolan too as of late on these flights, and it's real slim pickings, man. They're like you said, they're dead, they're spirits. Tenet has just like it's just rough to watch. The female character. I mean, is it Anne Hathaway in Interstellar? I mean, is it like all the Interstellar? She's annoying.
I'm glad she's in this movie as like reparations for Interstellar.
Yes, and Catwoman. Like that was also rough.
I do not see a good name on this list. It is, I mean, all the Oppenheimer women are just brutal. There's multiple women in this movie who are better than all of his movies put together, which is pretty funny. I guess the thing I want to ask you is like, so he in that Cersei scene, which I think is kind of the best scene in the movie, to be honest, even though the final third is awesome and absolutely rips, but this scene is like 20 movies packed into one. It's so many, the way it like pulls you in different directions, not just in terms of your sentiment going from a horror movie to do something else entirely, but also like your sentiments and how they shift. Because I'm watching this, I'm thinking, I like Himesh Patel a lot. I like Odysseus' men. We've not seen them do anything bad at this point.
Right.
They seem to be the good guys. And there's this witch, and it's disgusting. And you want Matt Damon. You're like, get in there, save them, save them. And then when she starts talking to him, and basically when she starts talking, she's like, "This is who they are. This is who you are. The things you've done." And when she tells them to take off your disguise, or return to your disguises.
Yeah.
Something in my brain chemistry altered in that movie. She's right.
Yeah.
Like, and it's then at the end we really see all the atrocities that soldiers commit at the very Odysseus guys, but like even like holy crap, what a moment.
Yeah, it is. It's
I get thinking of it.
Yeah, in a 3-hour movie, I don't. She probably had 5 minutes of screen time, something like that, and just just like and just nails it, and is this thing that haunts you for the rest of the movie. Like you're waiting, like even without the justification at the end, this thing is a haunt. Like you look at these guys, you look at everybody totally differently by what she does in that moment, and.
It's a great moment for Damon and him leaving her alive. I think it's a very like character moment, telling character moment. It one of the many moments in this movie that make you root for him is that he does the right thing there. Which brings me to number 3, Matt Damon. Okay, so you sent me a text after you watched the movie, which was, do you think this is Matt Damon's peak?
I think it's peak Matt Damon. I think our good friend Bill Simmons would call it Apex Mountain.
Apex Mountain, yeah.
Matt Damon. I think so.
Okay, so I'm biased here because Good Will Hunting is like probably like a sexual awakening for me.
Hey, Robin Williams, I tell you.
What year did that movie come out? How old was I? Hold on. I want to make sure that's not too inappropriate. 1997. That was 12. I saw that in the theater and I was like, that's the coolest, most handsome man I've ever seen. And it's such a good movie and it holds up so well.
Yeah. did not have the same impact on me, but
It's such a good movie. But
yeah.
he's amazing in this movie.
Wait, you went to the theater to see Good Will Hunting at 12? What?
I think I remember seeing it with my mom and being like, I'm having a lot of thoughts right now. All right. Get in the car, call Skylar. So I want to pose a question to you though, because I do think he is really good in this. And the final scene, not the final scene, but the final, the big set piece the scene where he kills all the suitors and all that. But right before that, when he gives the speech to Anne Hathaway, it's basically the "Are we the baddies" speech,
you're
where
right.
and it's kind of what we referred to, right? Where you look back on the whole movie and you're like, oh, now I understand what this movie is about and like what he's saying. And when he's like, I realized that I was the one who broke the law and created this world and broke all these ethical codes with this idea and whatnot. Incredible stuff from Damon, like so beautifully delivered. The only reason I have some hesitation is I want to ask you this. Did you ever feel like he was still too much of a good guy? Because Odysseus is a very flawed character.
Yeah.
And he's like a trickster, but he also is like a little bit of an egotist, and he himself is a big reason why he's not going home. Did you feel like you bought that from Matt Damon, that he was that flawed?
No, so there were these moments where the flawed moments, and they did not really hone in on them. And I'm not sure if that's Damon or the movie itself. Like
when he was randomly like, I want to hear the song.
Yeah. It was like, what? Why? Like, what's the point? And he had this sort of like, and I think Matt Damon played this sort of like jerky, like I'm doing a jack stunt thing, and it was just like, but it was also kind of like the movie, we didn't linger on that. Like he shoots the Cyclops in the eye out of like spite. And it's like, and we don't really lean into it and why he's doing these things. And then it kind of drops because like there's all these reasons why the crew is doubting him, and then they don't anymore. Like it doesn't happen anymore. And I think that's one of the issues. But this is why I think it's peak Matt Damon. Like, of course, Good Will Hunting is, that's the thing, right? That's the one that you kind of go against with that. Maybe
Charlie's suggesting Rounders.
Maybe I think the thing about this one is it puts everything together. Like, you forget that Matt Damon is also an action star, right? Yeah. Like there is that, like you putting, I texted Charlie, I said, this is like the Dirk 2011 finals, right? This is my comp for Matt Damon. It's like you have all of you have a great sort of early year. And then there's something that like, maybe just me, I had this sort of like ceiling on Matt Damon, right? Of like, he was great. He's like good to great in most of his things, but what's the like defining stuff since Good Will Hunting? And I think this was the movie where he puts all of the stuff, he puts the Bourne Identity with some of that Good Will Hunting, with that like good guy stuff. And I think he just puts it all together in a way that sort of raises the ceiling for Matt Damon. I mean, even in Interstellar, he was just like this dude, this like really twerpy dude, and we didn't get a lot of that here, but we get all of these different elements of Matt Damon for 3 hours carrying an action movie that's well acted. I
mean, carrying is important too, because the movie has so many like seemingly disconnected, I mean, it's flipping around in time, it's very Nolan-esque, it's absorbing elements that aren't even in the book, that aren't even in the Iliad, and that's about Christopher Nolan and how and I thought masterfully done, frankly, all worked together perfectly, it never got bored. Probably should have started at the top by saying I thought this movie was really good. So, but he has to carry it because, like you mentioned, like a lot of these great performances are a lot smaller, and and it's a lot of seemingly disconnected scenes, and he has to be the through line in how he deals with the characters, and he has to sell that scene at the end. That makes the whole movie work. I don't think this movie works without that speech at the end. I think it's good. But you walk out of that being like, well, that was good, but like, was it really about anything? He was in that moment. He gave the movie its heft and its purpose, I thought. And I mean, I bought him completely. The only moments where I didn't buy him were the ones you're talking about, where we would be like, why would you like randomly be out of nowhere here? It was a little bit like kind of, but I think that, to your point, that might have been about the writing a little bit. Like they didn't take the time to establish that. Okay. For part of this is just like an actor I absolutely love at everything. But Himesh Patel, who it's like probably like has the fourth most lines in the movie and was not positioned that way in the marketing. As Matt Damon's, I'm looking up how to say his name, Eurycles, I think. Part of the problem here. I thought he was extremely believable. And I loved how the Eurylochus. Okay, well, whatever. They like to say his name. It's his boy. It's his guy who's with him on the journey, his right-hand man. I just thought he had also like a quietly difficult task, which was he has to be the guy who's like constantly exasperated with Matt Damon and like, what are we doing, bro? But not be annoying. And the audience actually has to be on his side in many of those circumstances.
Yes.
Like the reasonable man. And I thought he was terrific in that role.
Yeah, he was really good. I mean, first time I saw him was Station 11?
Yeah.
Really good in that, like really just tragic character. You know, don't know why there was all the Shakespeare in that, but that's neither here nor there because there was not the act that plays. But he was so good. He just plays this like he just emotes so well with his face. And this movie calls for a lot of that, of him just looking at Matt Damon like, what are we doing here? But also like selling their stupidity in a way that you don't like think that these guys are like, so you kind of realize they're just sort of a band of idiots without him. But it's not like idiots to the point of like, you're just so dumb that I'm annoyed with everybody. You know, like it's a fine line, right? It's a fine line because you are exasperated by them, but he doesn't make it to the point where like, I'm rooting for them to die. That level of like annoyance, you know?
Yeah. Even like some of the choices that like the decision to, go to land and they end up having to shoot the cattle because they're starving. It isn't insane or illogical that they go to shore, right? Like he sells that he's doing things for the right reasons for the most part. Yeah. I don't know. I just he's always just like a very likable actor. Like every time he's on screen, happy. Every time he was really believable in that role to me. All right, you're not gonna like number 5. Woof woof, Argus the dog. Okay. Keep it moving. I went home and I apologized to Lenny for not being a kinder dog owner to him, walking him more. Great animal. I need to know if they CGI the tail, if it's real. I need to know if it was performance enhancing tail or not. Performance enhancing tail. Okay, I actually have changed my mind on this. I moved him around, but I ended up moving her up. I thought Anne Hathaway, redemption for Interstellar. Mostly that's more about I think Christopher Nolan and the writing of the character. What did you think of her performance?
Just women just don't think. They love, man. They don't think logically. I'm sorry. That's the point of Interstellar, in case anybody didn't know. Yeah, she was great. She was really good in this. And I'm with you. It felt like the whole time I was watching, I was like, this feels like redemption for the bad roles that she played. That she had to play for Christopher Nolan. But she was incredible. Like no notes really for this one.
The scene where Telemachus, is, like lecturing her for the 10th time about, daddy's coming home and whatever. And when she loses at him for saying that the chair has been empty, she was like, I've literally been ruling that for 20 years. Yeah. I felt that.
Well, when we get to Tom Holland, I think we can it just
a little more.
I know, not to spoil it. I just think that to say it, the juxtaposition of the two performances just highlighted where she was. Yeah.
You know what's funny? That's a great point, because when I first was watching them, because there's a lot of them in the first third, right? And then at the final third, obviously. The thing I found most jarring was I was like, it feels like, he's doing more modern speech and she's using more old-timey speech. But then as the movie went on, I was like, no, that's actually not the issue here. It's the line deliveries.
Yeah.
Like, even though her speech, there's not actually like a discrepancy in the modernity of their dialogue. It's the performance of it, where I feel like I'm watching someone who is in 2026, and then I feel like I'm watching someone, Anne Hathaway, who's actually in the time period of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I bought everything she did, felt like right and realistic, and she sold all of it really well.
Yeah. If you're talking about selling, like again, when you have to sell a moment, right? We knew that Odysseus was going to be able to string the bow. Like, we knew that there was no drama in it, the drama has to be Anne Hathaway's reaction to him pulling the string.
Yeah.
And it's kind of because it's kind of drawn out because for me, because like we know what's going to happen, right? And we're waiting for it to, but like, it's like there's no drama in it, but her reaction to it, that turnaround, that moment when he strings it, like that is, she has to make that moment happen, and she was absolutely perfect in that.
You know who else was perfect? Robert Pattinson. Continuous. When he like Trey's like, she's made her point. I don't have to try. I think he's so funny as his little like to get out of trying. I think he's so funny. Okay, 7. So we're still in the kind of. I feel like Pattinson. The top 3 are the kind of the S tier. This is the really good tier.
I would put Anne. I think Anne Hathaway is S tier.
Higher.
Yeah, I think she's an S tier performance.
Not above Argos the dog. Okay, I'm gonna put John Leguizamo here.
Yeah.
The sheep herd, the blind sheep herd. What did you think of him? Did you share my sentiment, which is I think of everyone, this was the one where I was surprised by how much I liked his performance. Like if you looked at it on paper, just like the cast before going in, not that I don't like him as an actor, but I would have thought this is going to take me out of the movie. Like I'm going to be like, that's John Leguizamo. Like, what are we doing here?
I think maybe Pattinson more, but like in terms of stock risers, like remember who I am. Like this is I like to have a like it is a thing of like I think when you see him, you're like, oh, that's John Leguizamo. Immediately, like when you first see him, it's like, oh, okay, this is the actor. But by the time you're into the movie, you've totally bought into this character, and it is definitely you guys, I've been doing this for a while. I'm a really great actor. Like reminder moment for him the entire time.
Totally agree. I'd be interested in seeing maybe like we get a little bit of a renaissance here.
Yeah.
You know, great actor. Seems like a cool dude. Happy for him. All right, we're at almost the halfway point of the list. And next, I'm going to put Bill Irwin, who played the Cyclops.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Who was awesome.
Yeah.
What do you think of that scene in general? Because it was probably one of the longer set pieces, scenes of the movie. Did it work for you? Because it was a little bit different. You talked about it was kind of horror, but it was kind of like thriller. I don't know.
Yeah.
It felt tonally a little different from parts of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little long, but I mean, you just linger on how creepy the Cyclops is the whole time, and the way I've never seen a monster eat humans that way. You know, I think that's the thing that sticks to me. Like you see, like Godzilla, and they just like take a big chomp, or a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Like the sound and the gnarling of it. That's the thing that sticks out to me. With that and the body movement, like it was really hard to watch. Like those two scenes, the Cersei and the two harder to watch scenes, and you had to nail it.
And the two more successful scenes of the in-between stage between the start and the finish, because some of them were a little less. Like I thought the stuff with the whirlpool and then the tentacle, the giant guys who just chased them off.
Oh, the Titan. Yeah.
Like there was some other of the scenes didn't work as well. Those were the two scenes that I thought were the most successful, and this is the feeling of the Odyssey itself and the staging of it, even if it was a little long, I thought was very well done. And the actor himself, like I thought, imbued the character with a lot of pathos. Like you kind of felt bad for him a little bit at the end. Okay, number 9. I'm going to put Zendaya here as Athena. And the reason she's not higher for me is just that she wasn't given that much to do. But I thought she was very expressive visually, and the function of because I think one thing this movie, I was actually surprised that it wasn't more gods in this movie. It felt like much more human driven than God driven. But as the stand-in kind of and her character was smaller than it is in the Odyssey, but I thought she crushed it in the scenes that she had.
Yeah, I came out of it thinking that she's been working with Sam Levinson so long that she knows how to just look disapprovingly at a white guy's decisions. so she had a lot of practice for this role.
Her and Himesh Patel were both like, what?
Right.
She was so the scene at the end too, and when she tells him that he has to give himself over to the gods and stop trying to control things. I thought her line, her like she just was, the acting was really good. So 10, I'm gonna go Elliot Page. Oh, it's 20. Elliot Page at 10. Back this up.
Yeah, I was waiting for Elliot Page. I thought Elliot Page was really good here.
Really, really good as Synod. Sorry, I just want to make sure all the names right. Sinon, pardon me. Who, for those who've forgotten, is Odysseus's cousin, or it's just like a younger. It's one of his warriors who took the place of Pattinson's character, who then becomes the sacrifice. So the scene with the sacrifice, I'm thinking, all right, he's good in this. They're good in this. It's pretty good. And then the scene where Odysseus goes to Hades. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Thought the conversation, the dialogue between the two of them was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. And again, that's Elliot Page just being really great. And again, like to make the Robert Pattinson villain thing, you need this scene. And you need, you need me to want to kill this dude who was just kind of annoying up until that point. And he becomes the main villain in large part because of what Elliot Page does here in this scene of the heartbreak of like, I would have done this for you. I would have died for you. Because also there's this added element of like, I died not knowing this. And I also kind of died not knowing that I was the impetus for a genocidal act. There's all of that is in this heartbreaking moment of, and you're waiting all these years to, in Hades to confront this person about it, and you're letting it all out. I mean, it was just it was one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Yeah. And, one of the very few scenes until Odysseus's speech at the end where anyone involved in all of this war who's a soldier actually expresses like some sort of introspection about what happened. Elliot Page, of course, has been like the locus of all the culture war around this movie. Obsession of, it's so funny not funny. It's weird because I think when I first saw like all the crazy, almost exclusively on Twitter, like angry objections about his casting, they were like, this is supposed to be Achilles, the greatest warrior. Not like so many misinterpretations of what the movie actually ended up being about. And obviously all of those now look very foolish in the wake of this becoming like the biggest Nolan movie of all time. And people absolutely not caring at all. It turns out, touch grass.
It's a reminder this stuff is not real life.
Not real life. But also I thought, I don't know, just like very gratifying given that backdrop to see such a great performance. As a big, like a middle finger to that in some ways.
Yeah. And you had to know, everybody had to know what the reaction was going to be. Everybody knew what the culture war stuff, and to nail it like they did in such a high, a high pressure moment is something that you can't, undersell at all.
Well, that's a probably clear transition to the next person. Lupita Nyong'o as Helen, very small role, should be noted. That's big part of why I don't have her higher, is doesn't have that many lines. She's both Helen and Clytemnestra. Again, a lot of disgusting BS around this. I thought, I mentioned many of the women in this movie at multiple points in the movie try to tell the viewer what it takes until the end of the movie for Matt Damon to really wrap his arms around, which is war is brutal. War has no actual winners. War is pointless. And she has a great scene when Telemachus goes to meet Menelaus, where she basically says as much and conveys how she feels about all of this, about how she uses, similar to Synod, as being a tool in other people's ambitions.
And the sort of flashback of Helen killing, like that, I felt like
Clytemnestra killing.
You're right. That I felt like I held my breath the whole time. Just that like little short moment, like the screaming of the, and then that I felt like I did not. It was, I mean, again, it was short, 45 seconds, but I felt like I wasn't breathing the whole time.
Yeah, the three women, Cersei, Penelope, and Helen are all really like impactful, like impact per minute on screen is kind of crazy. And yeah, like I thought Nolan wrote her character really well. It kind of like allowed people, I think, to think of the story in a different way. And like, when she calls him out on like, oh, you did all this BS in my name, but it wasn't actually about me. And it's like a very significant moment. And he does it multiple times in the film. Okay, I'm actually gonna put Jon Bernthal next, who plays her husband. I actually, so like, I think he was fine. Mental house. The acting was fine. He was one though where I actually felt a little taken out of the time. Maybe it's just the actor for me, or I don't know if it was that or the performance. How did you feel about him?
It felt like I was watching the actor like there are parts in this movie. I'm not sure if Travis Scott's going to be on your list at all, but like there are parts of the movie.
He is. Okay,
we'll get to the. Okay, so I'll wait for my take when we get to Travis Scott. But there were some where it just kind of felt not stunt casting, but it just kind of felt like guest appearances. Guest. Like when you're like. I don't know what any of these shows like in the show and then in episode 10, and then you have like this actor who comes in to play the role. I don't know.
That's how I felt too. All right, 14 or 13. Here I'm going to put Charlize Theron. I thought the Calypso stuff was the weakest stuff in the movie, to be honest, or amongst it. I don't blame her per se, but her moments, her scenes felt very repetitive to me. I've seen it theorized that some of her scenes were probably cut out because, and she, unfortunately, like she was much more of a framework for the movie rather than a person in the movie, if that makes sense.
It was just a means to have Matt Damon tell the story. That's really what it was. And there was no, because even the end, even that resolution of that, like we know, like in the Odyssey, like the actual, he doesn't just, I think like the gods come in, somebody comes in and frees him from this or whatever. So like this whole thing where she just kind of like, well, I realized you still love, I couldn't do anything about it. So you get to go, like that. That's the hard thing to sell at the end.
I also didn't really feel like she was in love with him. They never really, she was saying, I fell in love with you. I'm like, really?
I didn't feel that till it felt like she was, that's a good point. Like I didn't get that where she'd be like, I love this dude and keep him here for like 7 years. And whatever.
They never really, it would have made it more believable, I think. All right, here we have Tom Holland at 14. He is not the last on this list. And the question I want to ask you is this, because I'm not saying he is not so bad that it like takes, it is like I'm trying to think of a comp for someone in a movie where I'm like, wow, this is a really weak part. I don't think that's the case. But I don't think he comes out of this movie as a winner, right? Like as an actor. Do you think that's more about Tom Holland's range or who he is? Or do you think it's about the character? Because like in his defense, it's a pretty thankless character.
Yeah, it is a thankless character, but also I couldn't help but think if Robert Pattinson did it, it would still be really good. Like like the movie, again, to bring the sports analogy, it's kind of like, who is your big dog player? Like this is like you put all the big actors in the world and you roll the basketball out there and you said, who's going to give me 30 points? Right. And it's like playoff basketball. It is like Wemby's on the court and Chet Holmgren pees himself in game 7. Like this, like that was kind of like, he wasn't that bad, but it was just kind of like, you see who you can bring to something like this, and it was just kind of felt like, he's still going to be great and do things that are great, but it felt like his range, like I think there was to me like a Tom Cruise kind of potential for Tom Holland, where you could do. Now it's just like
a lot of roles that you can't do.
It was like, I like a year ago or maybe 6 months ago, I'd been like, this dude could do a Jerry Maguire, he could do a rom-com, he could do all this stuff, he could do serious, and I kind of feel like this is Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like this is,
and so I haven't seen Spider-Man. You're going to see it too. But like, I think he's great at Spider-Man. Like, I think he's a good actor. Like, I don't think he's a bad actor. I just like was like, oh, you're kind of taking me out of this and you feel modern. You don't feel, and I'm not buying you the way I am a lot of these people in these roles. So
I wonder though, if he did not have to do in like a U.S. accent. If he could stay, British,
good
if this would have been different, because I'm like because it felt like this was Peter Parker as as character, and I wonder if he could have just kept his accent, would this have been better?
That's a great take.
Yeah,
he should do another old timey.
Yeah, he should do like Hamlet next.
Actually, I think it would be great as that kind of role. Yeah, that's a great take. Okay, real quick here. I put Mia Goth, who plays Penelope's servant woman or whatever, only because like she doesn't do anything, and I feel like nobody's gonna remember she was in the movie, which is kind of an L. Travis Scott is next. So this is tough because I really wanted him to be good because he was also part of all the BS around, racial casting. So look, I'm not trying to I just want to be clear here. The problem with Travis Scott's character is not that he isn't I would say Greek looking, but that's not the issue. Let's be honest, it's a white man. Right. The problem is that he's Travis Scott. And the whole time I was like, that's Travis Scott. I never felt like, so it's funny. The Safdie brothers do a lot of stunt casting. And I feel like they've had a little bit more success with this type of thing, maybe. I don't know. I know he wrote it too, and he... Yeah,
I'd been avoiding all the Odyssey sort of takes and reading and all this stuff. And then I saw this thing that was like Christopher Nolan's making a statement about like rap music and spoken word has always been there. And I was like... that without even having seen Travis like that, I was like, I want to flip a table over and get this out of here. Like it felt like Christopher Nolan as rock star director. You know what I'm saying? Like that, it kind of took me out because it felt like Christopher Nolan, one of his homies.
Here we go. Yeah.
Yeah. And that I didn't like it. And it also reminded me of like, remember when NBC used to do those like 2-night movies and it'd be like Jesus, the movie on like Saturday and Sunday. And then it would like it'd be like, John Goodman is Moses. And it'd be like, why? But it doesn't matter, or like, I don't know, like it's just random things. It just felt like this random casting that absolutely took me out the movie.
Partly too, because like it wasn't enough. It was like too short for him to show, like, for example, mention the Safdies, you saw Marty Supreme, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So I was like, damn, Tyler, the creator, can act.
Yeah. He got a lot of screen time. Yeah.
Flawed movie, but that seems like stunt casting and whatever.
Right.
I was super impressed with his acting in that movie. And he felt like a real character who was like fleshed out. And I think that's part of the problem is like if you bring in a celebrity, but then you don't let them do anything, it's really hard for them to just break that initial impression. Which brings me to the lowest ranking person I have. And that, speaking of Marty Supreme, is Benny Safdie as Agamemnon. Did you have the same experience that I had where when you took off the mask and started talking, you were like, what?
Yes. Yeah. Never should have taken off the mask.
And I understand that's purposeful to some degree, right? Like Christopher Nolan wanted to be like, it's not a big man. He's got kind of a high voice. Totally understand it. I think but I thought it was a little too jarring.
Yeah.
And also why? What's the point? That was ultimate stunt casting to me.
Yeah.
Right? Because I was like, wait, I think I know that guy. Like, if you're going to do that, like, if you're trying to make a point, which is this isn't this big, tough guy, choose an unknown or like a lesser known actor. So it's about the point and not the shock of the stunt casting.
Yeah. Because it breaks the fourth wall. Like, we bring in what we think about the actor and I think if you look at a lot of the bottom of the list, it invites us to bring in our own thoughts about the actor themselves.
Yes.
Into the thoughts about the movie, right? And the movie is so immersive, right? It's hard to make an immersive movie with all of these mega stars in it. And you're thinking Matt Damon, superstar, but like eventually you buy into the characters, you forget that they're who they are. The bottom of the list almost pretty much exclusively are roles in which you're thinking about.
Yeah.
You're thinking about Tom Holland as Spider-Man. Yeah. You think about all that stuff.
Benny Safdie, what?
Right.
Yeah, such a great point. Yeah. And then the people who snuck into the top, some of them were like surprised, like John Leguizamo was someone I expected to be like that, who ended up actually immersing me in his character. So that's really well said by you. Final Christopher Nolan rankings. Now that the Odyssey has entered the Pantheon, Do you want me to give you mine first, or do you want to give yours
go
first?
for it. Go for it. I want to hear yours. Go for it.
Number 1, still The Dark Knight.
Okay. All right.
2, The Odyssey.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Number 3, The Prestige.
Yeah.
Number 4, the other War is Hell movie, Dunkirk. Well, I guess they're all War is Hell movies.
Okay.
Number 5, Interstellar.
Okay. All right. Okay. I, at the risk of being hippy dippy, I'm still a Prestige truther. I'm sorry. I'm still a Prestige truther.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's still my favorite. It's my favorite. It's such a fun watch. It's such so like it's so fun. It's Wolverine and Batman. But it's like the twist is so it's great.
So
David
entertaining.
Bowie. Yes. Yeah. I have after that Dark Knight.
Okay.
Which hot take. I think we talked about this before. Batman Begins is a better Batman movie. It's just a better movie. And like when I want to watch Batman on screen, I'm watching Batman. But Dark Knight is just like a monster of a movie. It's just like, I watched it recently. All the things that come out of this, the Heath Ledger performance. And I've been like thinking.
Never drags. Doesn't drag once. Just turns on the gas. Never,
nonstop. And I wonder if that's like, of the 21st century, is this the defining acting performance of the 21st century, Heath Ledger's Joker? Like that's like it's hard to come up. Like we're talking like we think about 20th century. We're thinking Raging Bull. We're thinking all these other things. Thinking like Godfather. I think Heath Ledger's Joker for the 21st century is there, and that's not even. There's like 3 or 4 other great performances.
Oh no, I had it once. You don't have to convince me. I think it's like basically a perfect movie. So
yeah, it's a perfect movie.
The only thing that would have made it better is if that was not the Maggie. It's not Maggie. I maintain it's not Maggie Gyllenhaal's fault, but
yeah, it's not. And also, I think, and not to go, but like I'm so fascinated with Christopher Nolan's idea of optimism in the human experiment. You know, like in the ending of this, it does to me. The ending doesn't quite hold up with the boats. Like that's my only thing. But we're gonna. I don't know. We survived COVID. Then after that, I think I'm gonna go. I like Inception. I think Inception at 3. I like weird Christopher Nolan. So
you
Inception.
Like more than Odyssey.
I do think I like Inception more. Okay. I do want to see the Odyssey again, but I do think I like Inception more than Odyssey. I do think I also like Interstellar better than the Odyssey at 4.
Really?
Yeah, I like Interstellar. I watched it recently. Yeah, I just rewatched, and it is long, but there's so much. I think before Odyssey, this was probably the most in terms of like gripping human element stuff, like the Matthew McConaughey saying goodbye to the kid, watching those videos after they like that is devastating when they realize they've been on the ship for 20 years or whatever. And then Odyssey, I think it did crack the top 5. I think it's number 5 for me.
Okay, all right. That's fair. Yeah, Interstellar. The kids love Interstellar these days.
Yeah. Well, I think part of it is the TikTok theories of Interstellar.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I think some of the science of it, I have whatever. It's a long thing, but
I don't. I kind of blank out on the science of it. So.
That's my point. Like, I think it's not well explained. I love science fiction, so I take a lot of issues with like when science fiction is not like I feel like it's wrong. But Odyssey, banger movie, loved it. All right, let us know if you guys want us to ever do like a Christopher Nolan movies, maybe rewatchable. But let's take a break and then let's talk about Furious. All right, Furious. Speaking of like Greek mythology, in the latest episode, there's a point where Nora Washington, who is played by the great Quincy Tyler Bernstein, who I've never seen in anything. That woman, have you seen her in anything?
No,
She's awesome. Yeah. What? Speaking of like weird little freaks, I love her performance. Like it's just so full of surprises. There's a part where she talks about the different kinds of anger and like the Greeks have different terms for it. And that was the first time when I was like, oh, furious, the Furies, women, female goddesses seeking revenge. And I was like, oh yeah, right, of course. And that's sort of what this show is about, right? It's about violence specifically towards women. Women seeking retribution in different ways, seeking cope for that, seeing justice in a deeply flawed justice system. Serial killer show, which we've seen 1 million of, but I think this Liz Meriwether version has subverted a lot of those tropes. So before we get into the latest episode, what is your overarching take on the show?
The thing about the show that I really love is that there's so many 3-dimensional portrayals of characters that we always see in 2 dimensions, right?
Totally.
Like there's this serial killer, this abused girl as a serial killer wanting revenge. We've seen that a million times. There's like probably 120 Law and Order episodes of this. But the way that the depth of the character just unveils itself throughout. There's the cops are, which like I think we've gotten to a point of it's flattened out to the point where it's like either you are propaganda or you're like, all cops are terrible. But there is a 3 dimensions to this with alcoholism, all this stuff, and abuse survivors, but also they're threading this really tough needle of creating these 3-dimensional characters of abusers in a way that does not try to make me feel sympathy for them. It's just a reminder that these are people who go about their lives, who do normal jobs, who seem fine and do terrible, terrible things to people. Like when the cop, her ex, the cop is everything he's doing is he's a decent dude. And he also abuses women. You know what I'm saying? Like that, like all of that sort of 3-dimensional rendering of these characters where I don't feel conflicted. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like, oh, do I like this guy? Like,
well, there's one thing I think, you do feel conflicted about, right? Which is you want the one way to get away with it, don't you?
Right. You want right. Yes.
We'll get to that in a second. But you're right. As far as like the abusers go, totally agree. It is. They're both scary, but then not. They're normal people, but then they're not, and they're all interesting and they're surprising. I think the 3-dimensional, like surprising, is the word I come to. Just continuously surprise us over and over. I talked about Nora. I got a weird little freak. Like she surprises stuff she says. Like I've never seen a character like kind of say some of this stuff. Yeah. Like when they're in the car in this episode, and Alice tells her that she likes to be like knocked around by guys in a sexual way. She's like, she talks about like, who wouldn't want like, what's the word she says?
She said pinata or something.
Yeah, pound just pinata or something. She's just funny. That's the other thing. The show is like tonally very like, there's legitimately surprisingly funny moments in this episode, the latest episode, when Catherine, the killer, through like, she hooks up with this rich boy, this like spoiled rich dork, to get to the dad who's part of the Jay Easton, scandal, when she just camps out in their living room and fakes having a Zoom call, and they're just watching. She's like just yelling out numbers. I like laughed. Like she's funny, like funny moments. I mean, Liz Merriweather, who made the show, made The New Girl. She's like really interesting. She's building a really fascinating TV portfolio. But I think that's the number one thing, is the show is like legit surprising, and that's cool.
They're not afraid to just like I want to talk about the comedy a little bit, because they're also not afraid to go long stretches without it. There's, I think at a show like this, there's a push to be like, we're a comedy. It's a dark comedy and we need a joke here. But they'll go, I mean, there was like the Zoom call, it's funny. And then you realize I hadn't laughed or there hadn't been a light moment in like 25, real minutes. And they're not sticking to genre here. They're just, when it works, it works. Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't, it's weird. Like the moment when Alice and Danny go on the drive and they ultimately kind of crack the case and figure out who Catherine is, right? She grew up in like a home for troubled youths and was befriends with the woman who died. On the way back, when they get stuck in the rain, it's like a rom-com almost. Like it's like kind of like, I'm like, whoa, this is not, and they don't kiss or anything. That's a fascinating relationship. That's a surprising relationship too. Like, what are they doing with that? Like, there clearly like is a love there, but it's sort of, it's soft, but it's a respite from all the horrible men in this show, because he is thus far a really good man. Scoot McNairy, always welcome on my screen. But I just think this show has like held my interest in a way that genre shows rarely do. I would also mention, like the show is ultimately, it's become the show about this woman trying to get retribution for these like powerful male sex traffickers. And it's this show is starting to explore the impossibility of that.
Yeah.
Like, it's really freaking hard to get these guys, any of them. And at this point, it feels impossible, especially after this episode. But I think you could argue in that sense, it might be the first piece of art to really reconcile with Epstein.
Yes.
And, I was thinking that after watching, I was like, I don't know how you take these super rich guys down when everything in the system is against you and there's no, it feels impossible. And that, it feels like a pretty profound commentary on that story in a way I haven't really seen done in fiction.
Yeah. And again, when we talk about sort of the 3D of it, it's not even corruption, really.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not he's so powerful. Yeah. They're so powerful. They're funneling money. They're paying off the judges. They're doing this. The sadness of it is they don't even have to try that hard. They just get away with it by virtue of them being dudes. They just who cares? Whatever. I think that's sort of because there are parts of this that this could be a Marvel show with some vigilante who goes out there and is killing people and Jessica Jones or Daredevil is trying to stop him. But it's all so grounded in the fact that nobody cares enough to do anything about it.
Yeah.
And it's just so understood.
That brings me to the question I want to ask you about this latest episode. So you have kind of the parallel tracks of Catherine. We'll get to her, but first I want to talk about the investigation, which is Alice and Nora, and Danny is the male detective. So Danny, they basically, there's two things happening. Alice and Danny find out who it's Catherine. They get the name. Yeah. They've basically cracked the case. But on the flip side, Nora has found the cold case of Isabel Munoz, who from 2012, who was also involved, was Catherine's best friend. She realizes that she and this other detective, Ed George, closed the case. And she shows up seemingly drunk to his meeting. And that's when she brings up the different types of anger and all of that. And then this episode ends with her basically telling Alice she's off the case because she flashed a gun at abusive ex or whatever. Do we think that Nora's got a plan here? I wanted to ask you, because Nora up till this point has been a hero. She's a good guy. We think she's helping her. Do we this show right now is positioning it as her covering her tracks or whatever, saving herself. Do you think that's true, or do you think there's a long game here and that there's more to it?
I don't think so. I think that one of the things about the show is I don't think anybody really has a plan. I don't think anybody has a long game, and I think that's one of the stories of the show is how these things fall through. Even the killer is she's flying off the cuff.
That's this episode is she loses control in this episode.
I mean, I think even the second guy she kills, with the dad, she doesn't quite these are not Dexter executed things. All of these things are freestyle, freelance things that she's doing trying to figure it out.
Freestyle murders.
Right. It's just some off the top of the dome murders. Right.
Scrambling out there.
Right. Yeah. You got to improvise out there.
Out there somewhere. Yeah.
Right.
Because the second date is when she lets the girl walk, which is an important piece of character building, because that's when you are like, oh, I'm supposed to root for this woman. If she had killed the daughter, it would be really hard to come back from that. She lets her go, and you're like, okay, this is a little more complicated.
Yeah.
But in this episode, she kidnaps. After using the sex with speaking of playing for humor, all the scenes with the Ivy League dork who she uses, very funny.
Very rare, own the libs. That's funny.
I was thinking that too, because I was like, oh, here we go. When he was like, I agree, because it felt like. By the way, I'm pretty sure I went to college with Liz Merriweather.
Okay.
Ivy League dorks. I think she went to Yale at the same time as me. I agree. And the daughter makes, when the mom's like, you would stick your in a watermelon if I left it on people. It's really funny. But anyways, when she...
Why a watermelon? I mean, anyway.
So good. When she stabs his dad is the lawyer, Jay Easton's lawyer, and he recognizes her, and we know him now, us viewers, because he was at the meeting with the detectives. When she stabs him, you're like, wait, she showed her face to a bunch of people. And you're like, she's dragging him out of his building, getting a car. And then the episode ends with him waking up in the car. So this is both of these women who are kind of twin images of each other. Alice isn't going off the rails, but the case is going off the rails, and then Catherine's the killer is going off the rails.
Yeah,
but you want her to get away with it.
Yeah, you do, and it's I mean, and it's not just who she's killing, because like I really get kind of tired of the serial killer shows where we're supposed to root for like You, or we're kind of like like who am I, like why am I watching, like who am I rooting for, like what's going on here, you know, like there were a couple of those. I mean, Dexter kind of got like that a little bit, where I'm supposed to just root for these people just because whatever. But this one, I mean, there's a reason it ends with the threat of her not getting away with it, with the threat of this guy waking up, because they have established a means of me wanting to root for her, even as she is, I mean, manipulating people and killing other folks and doing things like that. Like there's still a thing where you want her to get away with it.
Yeah. And you're wanting the police to thread the needle of not catching her, but also catching these men. The scene where when she's in the elevator with the lawyer and he mentions the photo and she realizes that they're actually looking into it because they showed him the photo. You see like a barely perceptible like smile, like she's like happy, and you start to realize it's funny. Did you watch the show Killing Eve?
I was just about to talk about Killing Eve, because this is what it reminds me of. Like this is it reminds me. Yeah, the first season reminds me of the show.
Jumped the shark big time.
Oh yeah, the first season was just
electric. First season's electric.
Incredible first season.
And that season is about like a legit sociopath.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you root for her too.
Yeah, I mean, but they share this sort of like unhinged, unhinged, but also unpredictable quality. Yeah. Like when she's, because they do kind of weird things. Like when she's doing the girl's hair and she's like putting the curling iron near her neck, and it's all this stuff, and it's just like it's chilling because you just have this agent of chaos there. Yes. And very similar to Killing Eve, you like it had a gratifying end, is what you kind of want to have this season end, where it's just like everybody just kind of is like cool, you know, like just like fine, and we move on, you know.
Well, the unpredictability is really what makes this show sing, is like taking this killer, and we know she won't kill a child,
right,
but she killed the woman at the shelter.
Yeah.
So it's who had proved, though, she was not a good person, as she said. So it's there's a little bit of they're not making it super black and white and like this is all an agent of revenge, you know, but you really don't know what she's going to do in any particular scene, and it is thrilling to watch. And they've got legitly like the Choi, the FBI agent, great performance from him. Like you said, Marshall, Jake Lacey, poor Jake Lacey, he's such a good actor, but he has such an a-hole face. I just feel like he always cats playing that. Do you remember The White Lotus?
Yeah.
It's just like his face. I've heard he's a really nice guy. I have a friend who wrote on a show he did, and I'm like, that's
unfortunate.
He's got frat boy face.
Yeah,
is what it is. But I think that the three main women are just phenomenal in this. The actresses have all really captured my attention.
Yeah, the guy, the abuser guy, like the scene where he is begging her to come see his mom.
Oh my god! And then when she grabs her,
it is. Oh, it's so painful. But you could see it though. Like you can see this dude. I mean, he's genuine. He's earnest in his desire. And then again, these surprises where you see that they dated in high school. Like this relationship's been going on forever. It's just great performance all around.
Really enjoying this. I encourage people to keep watching it. If you're listening to this, I imagine you watched the first 4 episodes. And because I'm excited to see what happened. I genuinely don't know what's going to happen in this series. So excited to keep watching it. Excited you're back. We will continue taping. Like I said, Furious, maybe we'll add stuff along the way. Love Island reunion is also coming down the pike.
Can't wait. They waited a little too long, I think.
There's no news there. We still don't. Everyone thinks Melanie and Cecilia are together, but like not posting. But they've been spotted together.
Yeah. In LA. Casey and TT still rolling along. # Black Love.
They created a YouTube together, which I gotta say, not a good move. Y'all been dating for like 2 months.
That could go really bad.
It's like, dude. But happy for them.
They should learn about collaborator posts. That's all they need to do. Get your social team up, guys.
All right. Good to see you, buddy. I will see you next week.